University of Memphis wanted to join the Big 12, came up with a proposal to join the Big 12. The Big 12 said, we're not interested. Honey, why? Adapt and respond with me, RJ Young. If you are new to the show, thanks for joining us here. Talk college football year round. If you are so up for it, answer the questions that are scrolling on the ticker and go get your free sticker. Now, I found this report out of left field because we're going into a year where, a week where the ACC and the Big Ten are going to hold media days. So Monday, to see the report coming from Ross Dellinger at Yahoo Sports that Memphis had tried to join the Big 12 by offering $200 million and the Big 12 saying, no, thanks. I said, huh? Okay, so now we know why this story's out there. They said no. But why did they say no? So there's this part of Ross's column that you should go read. But I thought this was the most important part. Memphis President Bill Hardgrave has spent at least 14 months visiting the presidents and top athletic administrators of many Big 12 schools in individual on-campus meetings that have culminated in a membership offer to the league that is expected to be as high as $200 million over the next 5 years. When Dellinger reached out to some people in the Big 12 about this, he got one anonymous quote back that I thought was pretty good. We vetted Memphis when we added the other four, Cincinnati, Central Florida, Houston, BYU, and chose not to add them. What's changed? The layout of college football, perhaps, the layout of the money that you need. And this, again, second most important part of the story for me that Ross wrote. The industry has never been in a more money-hungry time. Already, Big 12 schools are receiving roughly $1 million in additional revenue from sponsorship with PayPal. Memphis' proposal would have increased that by at least $2 million with sponsorship commitments from Memphis partners. The school is historically aligned with partners such as FedEx, Lowe's, and AutoZone. The school would also take zero distribution for the final 5 years of the league's new deal with ESPN and Fox, add sponsorships in excess of $150 million over 5 years, and subject itself to expulsion after 2030-31 if the Big 12 deems it's not adding value. That sounds like a found money, zero risk option for the Big 12. But if I'm playing devil's advocate, which is to say, what's the argument against adding Memphis? You're going to create an imbalance, right? Even team versus odd teams. That's going to mess up the math when it comes to playing for championships and or selection into the college football playoff, which I'll get to. You're also going to add another program that just got hit with, some sanctions of their own with Penny Hardaway and the basketball team, but that's nothing new. If anybody's been following Memphis basketball since it was Memphis State, or even since John Calipari was head coach there. What is new is that Memphis has been playing football at a high level for about 2 decades now. Like, I'm going all the way back to D'Angelo, I remember being scared of parts of Memphis, the football team. Don't take that anywhere else. I like Memphis. Memphis is great. Chill out. I look at Memphis and I ask myself, why do they want it this bad? That's the Big 12. You know why they want it this bad? Southern Methodist. So Southern Methodist asked to join the ACC, get out of the American, for one reason and one reason only: to have a road to play in the college football playoff, period. You know that if you win the conference championship, or at least make the conference championship game, you have a greater than zero chance of making the college football playoff in a 12-team format. It was worth it to Southern Methodist and its billion-dollar donors to forego a lot of money from television revenue if they could get into the league. To which the ACC said, yeah, why not? Could not hurt. We like adding the value. You won a bunch of games in the American, and Southern Methodist has wanted to play big boy football for some time. You take it back to the early 1980s, Southern Methodist was playing big boy football. Then they got caught for cheating. They got death penalty. They fought their way back. They consistently have shown that they can win with different coaches and that the administration is about its business. Cool, we'll let them in. They did not expect them to run through the regular season undefeated and make the conference championship game in year one. Okay? Maybe the SEC thought this would happen with Texas and Oklahoma, but it wasn't enough to upset the apple cart until it was, right? You get SMU in this thing, and then Alabama ain't getting in this thing because you already know Texas is going to get in this thing, right? Add to this, if you're adding Memphis to the Big 12, and you know that Memphis can fight at the front right away, you got Iowa State, you got Kansas State, you got Colorado, you got BYU, you got Oklahoma State. You got so many programs that just want to taste this college football playoff when you could only get one team in last year. One. And that was your conference champion. Arizona State played well, acquitted itself well, made the Big 12 look as tough as it is. You add Memphis to this, even if you're not taking any money out of their pockets, they're adding money to your pockets. How much money is enough for you to feel bad about not making the college football playoff? After some time, the money is diminishing returns, right? It's just keeping score. I don't think the Big 12 is there yet. I think if they thought they could get Memphis then, they think they can get Memphis now. Pac-12 has made Memphis a really interesting offer, but Memphis knows what you know and I know. The Pac-12 does not have a road to the college football playoff. That is the most important part of this calculus. You want to join a Power 4 conference because the Power 4 conferences still have a direct path to playing for the national championship. And that is about playing for money. Okay? There is $8 billion that ESPN paid to air the rights to these games. It's being distributed among the teams that make the playoff and continue to win. Okay? This is what I think of as a sweetheart deal for Notre Dame because they're not in a conference. They get to keep all the money that they make. Whereas Ohio State spread that money across the Big Ten. Memphis could be that, right? But is that something you really want to do? And then the last time that they tried to add more teams, UConn and Gonzaga for basketball, failed, right? Failed. Gonzaga ends up joining the Pac-12, which I thought was a better fit anyway. No football presence to speak of. And UConn had a really great season last year, but I don't know how committed they are to playing football, period, at a high level, which is why they're still independent, right? I think that the Big 12 should have submitted its own offer. That's what I think. I think the Big 12 should have found another way because you're going to have more realignment. You're going to have more teams that are looking to join your conference. And eventually, I think we're going to get down to we only have this much room for what we think of as FBS programs playing for the national championship. Not because I want it that way, but because that's the way it's going. You're pricing out so many other programs just by the money continue to go up. Like Boise State coming up is really going to help the Pac-12. That's why they can lead the Mountain West, right? And you look at the Mountain West, it's being pillaged. Not unlike the Pac-12 was pillaged and was no more. So you grow or die, and that is capitalism. That's how you do business. You don't get to stand still. You don't get to count the money. You have to continue to make money and get bigger and eat and eat and eat. Memphis doesn't necessarily know what it's going to do next, but I guarantee you this. They want to win, and they are unafraid to spend the money necessary to win. Somebody's going to take them up on that deal. Don't know who it's going to be. I just know who they don't want it to be. Sunbelt, Conference USA, Pac-12, Mountain West. None of the conferences that don't have a direct path to the college football playoff, and because the Big Ten and the SEC are holding all the cards, they let the ACC and the Big 12 have seats at the table because they have to form something like, fairness, at least to us in appearance. But let's not get it twisted here. The emphasis needs to be on getting as many teams into the college football playoff from your league as humanly possible. Memphis helps that. The money that they're bringing in will also help that because that's more money you get to pay out. More money you get to pay out not just to coaches, players, assistants, but to support staff. We're seeing front offices take up more of the operating cost. You had to create one out of whole cloth in many cases. You're having to recruit and evaluate and sign more lawyers, more lawyer fees. A greater and bigger college football playoff is great for you and me, and that's what the game is about. But somebody's got to find a way to fund this, and somebody will. I'm never too far from the point of college football is too big to fail. But it isn't so big that the Big 12 can't fail. Just take a look at the Pac-12. Memphis, I salute you for trying to come up with a found money plan for the Big 12. That they can't see themselves taking it, can't do much about that. But I know this, you got more opportunities this year. You run through the American, you win the conference championship, you make the college football playoff, and maybe you might think about doing what was unthinkable some years ago. Just go independent. Just get out of the American, put together your own damn schedule, make sure that you're barn burning like Notre Dame, and then reap the benefits of what independent, barnstorming, ranked opponents can be like. I think that's there for you. But that also means that you're going to have to do this without a net. And that is what a league is. It's a safety net for when you are down, when you're not that good. It's betting on yourself, which is something y'all tell us to do. But when it comes time for the money to bet on itself, it says, hey, man, I would much rather we find a different way. All right. Yeah. That's how it goes. All right. That's going to do it for this episode of Adapt and Respond. If you like the show, remember to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple and Spotify, and I will see y'all on the flip side. Doses.